Now at 10, a Joplin group hopes to bring the community together with a walk celebrating equity, diversity, and inclusion. Plus, some KU students dig into the past to find answers to a bloody history lesson. And the curtain will go down one last time for an independent theater in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin's Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee held a meeting this afternoon to discuss their plans for the upcoming Unity Walk to be held on June's 3rd, Thursday. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. EDI's goal is to make sure everyone is included. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
In the past, I've had issues where I've definitely had to hush down a little bit of who I am as a person.
Tabitha Carter's personal experiences opened her eyes to challenges other people might deal with. But a group in Joplin is helping her expand her horizons even more.
I'm educated in things I didn't know previously about inclusion. So even though there are certain things that I face every day, I'm learning a lot about all different areas of inclusion and how I can be a better coworker, how I could be a better boss.
Joplin's Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee wants to make sure everyone is treated in the same way, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, nationality, religion, or skin color.
The important part, of course, is to show all of the people coming from all over the world, all over the country, that we support you, your small business and your ventures and your families.
A lot of times people have to feel left out if they happen to look different or if they're differently abled. Anything that maybe separates them, that they feel separates, we have EDI to bring everyone together and to know that really it's as simple as you belong here.
The organization aims to be a safe place for people to share their feelings and show who they truly are.
We're not promoting any certain group over any other certain group. We are simply saying that if you're breathing, you belong. And it's really that simple.
For Colbert King, EDI's goal is to stitch a quilt out of Joplin.
A quilt is made up of a bunch of different squares that look different. Every one of them has different patterns, different squares, different whatever. But when they're all put together and you're stitched together, they make a beautiful quilt. That is diversity. That is what every city needs.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
EDI's Unity Walk on 3rd Thursday starts at 6 p.m. June 20th. It's going to be at 2nd and Main in Joplin. You can find more information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, we had some scattered thunderstorms late this morning into the early afternoon hours. A lot of thunder and lightning, but nothing too strong. And then partly sunny skies. 74 is where we topped out. 79 is our average high, so about 5 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. Looks good right now. Joplin, Pittsburgh, both sitting into the mid 60s. We are dry, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms trying to pop up a little bit later on tonight. All right, mid 60s. We'll drop back near 60 later on tonight. You can see a couple little showers starting to pop up near Branson. We'll get isolated showers along and south of the I-44 corridor as we go through the overnight hours. Not very heavy rain by any means. Temperatures will drop back to about 61, back to 71 by 10 a.m. We do have a severe threat next few days. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a trooper from Miami is fired after he was charged with sex crimes. Court documents say trooper Jackie Lee Reinhardt pulled over a semi-truck driver for speeding on I-44 near Big Cabin in Craig County. They say Reinhardt forced sexual acts on the driver. Reinhardt is charged with sexual battery and forcible sodomy. After the charges were filed, the Highway Patrol released a statement saying it terminated Reinhardt's employment. A federal court sentences a Kansas man for meth trafficking. In August of 2022, a Crawford County, Kansas sheriff's deputy tried to stop Justin Lapping, but he fled on motorcycle. Soon after entering Barton County, Missouri, Lapping abandoned the motorcycle and ran. Officials used tasers on Lapping, who was taken into custody with what they say was a large amount of meth. Now Lapping is sentenced to 24 years and 6 months without parole for possessing methamphetamine to distribute. KU students are getting their hands dirty with some excavation just outside of Parsons. The site is reportedly the location where events involving the murderous Bloody Bender family took place way back in the 1800s. Not only are students getting hands-on in the field training, according to their professor, they're also able to better understand the story and history behind everything.
The KU team has the talent and the resources to do what I want to get done, which is find out where all this stuff happened on this property. We know what happened with the grisly, gory murders, but where did it happen? And we want to uncover any artifacts or anything else that can add to the story or maybe even rewrite history.
The team will be on site for another week. Then they're going to take the material they've collected and analyze it over the coming months. Today is the 13th anniversary of the 2011 Joplin tornado. 161 people were killed. Thousands more were injured. The storm destroyed thousands of homes and more than 500 businesses. It packed winds in excess of 200 miles per hour. It was on the ground for more than 22 miles. The Joplin tornado ranks as one of the nation's deadliest tornadoes. It remains the costliest tornado in U.S. history, with $2.8 billion in damages. Moviegoers in Anderson, Missouri had the chance to take in The Butterfly People this evening at the Flick Theater. The hour-long documentary revisits that 2011 Joplin tornado, the aftermath, and the miraculous stories which followed concerning the intervention and protection of the butterfly people. For some, the documentary is a reminder of how much Joplin endured and overcame.
I think, just like with 9/11, after a while it gets complacent, right? Like people forget about it. And so we want to make sure that people still remember, what happened and how many lives were lost and really what it brought the community together of Joplin.
It gives me goosebumps because we're privileged and we're blessed. And I think for some people this might be a healing process for them. And for some, like my grandsons, a learning, it's history. And here we are right here at the Flick in Anderson getting to see it. And for some, it might be bittersweet.
The film was written and directed by Gregory Fish, who also made Steadfast, the story of the Joplin tornado. Joplin's home for independent and local films is going to dim its lights after 6 years. Bookhouse Cinema in Joplin has decided to close its doors. Owners say while the property is for sale, they'll maintain normal operating hours until the closing day. They have a plan to, quote, provide Joplin with a cinema-focused space in the very near future, end quote. Bookhouse Cinema will show its final movies on June 9th. Some 4-staters say they're fed up with the price of fast food. That's next. And area law enforcement agencies lace up their running shoes to benefit Special Olympics.
The moment you call.
According to a recent finance study, the average menu prices for fast food have risen more than 39% since 2014. Finance Buzz's recent chart of fast food inflation documents multiple food chain prices since 2014. All the chains on the chart increased prices by at least 39%. McDonald's menu prices have the largest jump, 100% since 2014. An economics professor at Pitt State says inflation affects blue-collar workers the most.
When the inflation reduces the purchasing power of our wages, that is, of course, not a good thing. The standard of living declines, but of course, it doesn't decline evenly. The people that are mostly affected are blue-collar, low-income workers.
For more details about Finance Buzz's study, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Folks in Columbus, Kansas today were able to get a hamburger while supporting the efforts of the Skill Resource Center. The center hosted its Burgers on the Patio event with the help of Columbus firefighters grilling those burgers. All the money raised from the event supports Skill and KSDS, Assistance Dogs, Inc., which pairs people with disabilities with service dogs.
Skill, and we help disabled people and elderly people get direct support workers in their home to assist them in their everyday life.
Like I said, mostly everybody's in the middle here.
There was also prize drawings and live music. On My Own Center for Independent Living in Nevada, Missouri hosted its annual Disability Awareness Lunch fundraiser today. Last year, that organization sold 304 plates. This year, its goal was 350. Not sure if they hit it or not. Funds raised by the organization go to support aging seniors, youth scholarships, ramps and home modifications, community resources, and more.
A lot of our programs that we do come from state funding. Our core is a Center for Independent Living. We receive a grant from the state of Missouri to be a Center for Independent Living. We are way behind the times in Missouri for funding for our Center for Independent Living grant. Last year we did receive a one-time increase, but that was a one-time increase.
For $10, diners could get a barbecue sandwich, chips, cookie, pickle, and a bottle of water and help a good cause. Speaking of good causes, area police agencies joined forces today for the annual Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. The torch is moving across various regions of Missouri toward Columbia for the 2024 State Summer Games. The torch passed by 3 local schools where kids cheered them on. Joplin PD passed the torch near the limits of Webb City, then on to the Carthage Police Department. A little later, search and rescue efforts continue after tornadoes tear through parts of the heartland.
Plus, we have more severe weather in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, not a bad day for us today. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms late morning, early afternoon. Nothing too strong or severe, which is good. And our temperatures, they went into the mid 70s as we got into the afternoon. We should warm up even more tomorrow. Nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, and it's looking pretty good out there right now. Most of us 63, 64 degrees. We'll kind of hover near 60 a little bit later on tonight. We've had a couple little showers kind of pop up near Branson. These should flare up a little bit more over the next couple hours, and we could get a little bit of thunder in spots, especially along and south of I-44, but nothing to really worry about as we go through the overnight hours tonight. In fact, all the severe weather has mainly been down through Texas, where they had several tornadoes earlier this evening. Here's our next wave. It's kicking out of the northern Rockies, and that's going to give us some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night and then into Friday morning, but a bigger system is going to move in behind it. So we do have a low threat for severe weather tomorrow. It's a level 2 out of 5. I'm not overly concerned about this. The reason why is the storms are going to be very scattered, and as they push in, they should fall apart. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but mainly 4 to about 9 or 10. I'm going to keep all the threats low. We'll see what it looks like in the morning. All right, let's go through times. Scattered showers, a few thunderstorms along and south of I-44 for us tonight. Out of here by morning. Here's 6 a.m. We start near 60. As we go through the morning, mid 70s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, we push 80 for an afternoon high. Thunderstorms build to our west, and a couple of these may get in, but I really think they're going to fall apart as they do so. So a better chance for anything strong or severe will be on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. And then as we go into Friday morning, the actual cold front's going to slide through, and this will give us some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms as well. So we'll watch that. I don't think it's a huge deal tomorrow evening, but something we'll keep our eyes on. 63 in the morning, 76 by noon, high temp of 81. We'll drop back to 80 by 4 p.m. Let's go into the weekend, of course, Memorial Weekend, the unofficial kickoff of summer. And we are going to be watching a chance for strong to severe thunderstorms Saturday evening into Saturday night. Greatest threat, Wichita to Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, Tulsa, up toward Joplin. And this is going to be Saturday evening into the overnight hours. Most of the day looks okay, but if you're going to be out on the lakes, make sure you pay attention because storms will fire up between Wichita and Oklahoma City and drive east as we go through the evening hours. And those most likely will be strong to severe and then pretty much gone by Sunday morning. And then I think the rest of the holiday weekend is looking pretty good. But we are going to make Saturday at least a possible alert day. We'll make a decision on that most likely tomorrow. 81 for a high, 79 Friday, 87 on Saturday. Sunday and Monday looking good. Highs in the upper 70s, the lower 80s.
Yeah, so at least part of the long holiday weekend looking great, actually.
Yeah, not bad.
Thanks, Doug. Officials say 5 people have died. At least 35 were hurt in a tornado that devastated Greenfield, Iowa yesterday. The Iowa Department of Public Safety says it's believed the number of people injured is likely actually higher. Roxana Saberi has the latest.
Residents of Greenfield, Iowa are sifting through the little that remains after a deadly tornado tore through their tight-knit community.
We were just digging through the rubble and came across these were still intact that we wore 30 some years ago.
Could be worse, so I'm just thankful.
Multiple tornadoes swept across parts of Iowa, including this one near Villisca. Traffic camera video shows a twister topple a semi-truck along an Iowa highway, while several wind turbines came crashing down during the storms.
This is a search and rescue mission, and it will continue to be throughout the day.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds visited Greenfield and issued a disaster emergency proclamation for more than a dozen additional counties. Winds topping 130 miles per hour shredded homes and flung cars and trees into the air.
I took my kids to the basement, and we were in the basement during the duration of the storm.
Whose TV that is?
Zeke Chafa says one of his 2 daughters was at home alone when the twister hit. She survived by hiding in their basement.
They got my daughter. Everything else can be replaced.
Including, he says, his home of 20 years.
Is all this stuff yours, do you think?
I don't think any of it is. That's a fridge from somebody's house. My fridge is over there.
Even as Greenfield struggles to pick up the pieces, residents say they will rebuild. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, Greenfield, Iowa.
The White House says tomorrow a FEMA administrator will travel to Iowa to meet with local officials and affected residents to survey the damage. Still ahead, Fort Scott High School softball heads to the 4A state tournament, and the Joplin Outlaws make their final preparations for the 2024 season. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
High school baseball and softball state tournaments begin tomorrow in Kansas. 6 of our local schools are participating. That includes Fort Scott softball. The Tigers are the 5 seed in the 4A state tournament bracket. They face Circle in the quarterfinals tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's their 2nd consecutive trip to state. Fort Scott has won 9 of its last 10 games entering state tournament play, so the Tigers are confident on their way to Salina.
It is a great feeling having the community to back us up, and just having that support, I think, is what pushes us to be good. You know, everyone on this team has a lot of determination, and we want to win, and we'll find a way to do that.
These kids, I mean, if you look at the group as a whole, they've been in multiple sports. I mean, they've been to state in multiple sports. I mean, they are accomplished athletes. They do very well, and
A new era of Joplin Outlaws baseball begins tomorrow evening. The team begins its 2024 season, and it's their first as a member of the Mid-American League on the road in Sherman, Texas. The Outlaws play 6 road games over the next 7 days in Sherman and in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Then Joplin plays its first home game of the season a week from tomorrow against the Sherman Shadowcats at Joe Becker Stadium. This year's team is excited to perform for the baseball fans in Joplin.
We have some other pro guys coming in. We got a guy from Japan. So it opens up the doors to raise the level of competition than the community's probably seen over the past few years, and also give some very deserving guys that maybe slipped through the cracks with organizations or got released looking for a second shake, provides them an opportunity to still chase the dream, get seen, and maybe get picked back up.
Entering today, the Cardinals and Royals have won 8 of their last 9 games combined. Both of them try to stay hot in series finales this afternoon. Second game of the day for the Cardinals against the Orioles. They already won the first. In this one, Redbirds trailing 3-0 in the third. And you see manager Ollie Marmol mouthing off towards the umpire. Well, he gets ejected from this game for arguing balls and strikes after getting tossed. Marmol's then going to get his money's worth, voicing his displeasure with the umpiring crew. Now, after a rain delay for the second day in a row, the Cardinals would come back. Bottom six, down 3-1. Brendan Donovan lines a double into the gap. 2 runs will score. That ties the game. Now, as the Orioles try to get Donovan over a third, the ball gets away, so he's going to get up and going to slide in safely at home with a Little League home run. Cardinals now lead 4-3. We go ahead to the top of the 9th. Cardinals lead, nobody out, 2 runners on. Lars Nootbaar makes an incredible leaping catch in the outfield. He then turns around, fires a strike over to first for a double play. Cardinals beat the Orioles twice today. First time in 2 years Baltimore's gotten swept. St. Louis has won 5 of its last 6 games. Cardinals playing well right now, so are the Royals. Both of our pro teams in the area playing very good baseball.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, we like that.
It's not something we've said a lot in recent years. We'll be right back. It won't be widespread, but at least some of us might get some more rain before morning.
Yeah, a little bit. Scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, especially along and south of I-44 tonight. Nothing to worry about, anything too strong or severe. And then a few evening thunderstorms tomorrow evening into Friday morning, and then a bigger severe threat moving in late Saturday.
Final sports note.
6 quarterfinal state tournament games tomorrow for our high school baseball and softball teams in Kansas. It all starts with Fort Scott softball at 1 p.m.
Looking forward to some scores, see what we can find out tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.